right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting game of curling at the Potomac Curling Club Cherry Blossom Bonspiel in beautiful Laurel, Maryland. On sheet B for this round, we're going to have Sablow versus Broom for Improvement. And on sheet C, we have the Loudoun Blossoms versus Cleveland Rocks. There are only 2 games happening this draw, so we do only have the one stream this time. And you'll be seeing both of those right here. I'm Ricky Osteen. I'm one of your commentators for this game.
I'm Mindy Carlson. I'll be running the view today. And we have Ken Clark, who may be popping in and out.
Yes, our webcaster, head honcho extraordinaire.
That's right. So today on Broom for Improvement, they're from Pittsburgh. We have Zach Romitz, Wenjun, Houston, Zemanski, and Winnie Leung. And on Team Sablow, they are from Ardsley / Plainfield, and it's Joe Sablow, Adrienne Adams, Gudrun Sablow, and Mary Cognetta. Okay. And then on sheet C, we will have the Loudoun Blossoms, and they are from Loudoun, Virginia. And it's Dana Miller, Bill Balding, Donna Meek, and then splitting the duties for lead, Ingrid Miller and Amy Ritter. And then they will be playing Cleveland Rocks, and they are from the Cleveland Skating Club, and it's John Savani, Peggy Savani, Adam Feldenkris, and Pedro Gerum.
So it looks like Cleveland Rocks with the yellow rocks over there, and C are the people with the fantastic cherry blossom shirts. I love the love the Bonspiel spirit. Looks like on sheet B, Broom for Improvement has the hammer. Yellow put up a nice tight guard there. Not quite on the center like they might have liked, but still good to have a guard up.
We aren't playing with the no-tick rule for this tournament, so if anything is on a center line, it can be ticked off or ticked back without it having to be replaced and you lose the shooter.
Got it. That is very good to know.
We are still playing with the 5-guard rule, as a few teams have found out.
Yes, and I know there may be people tuning in who aren't super familiar with curling. The 5-guard rule is essentially if you have rocks ahead of the house, so on sheet B, the yellow and the red rocks that did not touch the house, those are called guards. They're there for the teams to hopefully put rocks behind them later on in the end in order to score. And for the first 5 rocks of the end, you are not allowed to take out an opponent's guards. So those guards are supposed to stay there through the first 5 rocks of the end. After that, they're fair game, and you can hit them to your heart's content and try and move them and take them out of play.
We do have a chat going, and we are moderating it. So if you are watching from anywhere, or you have any questions, or if I posted the score incorrectly, please chime in and just feel free to let us know what you're thinking and what's going on. Unless you are one of my sons, in that case, don't do it.
If you're one of my friends tuning in, feel free to say hi.
Oh yeah, that'd be hilarious.
There might be a couple of those.
Tell us all the secrets.
Yep. Oh, wait, no. Why did I say yes? All right, looks like a nice draw there from Broom for Improvement. Right to the button there. It's a little bit past tee, so yellow could freeze to that, which I think is the call they're going to make.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And it is really nicely buried. So this particular, who is this? Which number are we on?
I believe this is second rock, so Broom for Improvement is probably Don.
Don. He is doing stick curling, which is if you have bad knees or an injury or something and you cannot crouch down in the hack to deliver your rock, you can deliver it through stick curling. And that is just a special attachment on your broom or on a stick to be able to walk the rock out of the hack and then release it before you hit the hog line.
And I think I was wrong. This is actually Broom for
Oh, that was
throwing down, so
Sablow.
I think this is Don. So I think that was, yes, I think that was Gudrun.
Oh, Gudrun.
With the stick.
So, yep, and that is a typical curling delivery style. Curling is one of those sports that is very ability accessible. We have wheelchair curling, we have stick curling. You can slide out of the hack with your broom. You can slide out with a stabilizer. It's a very welcoming and open sport for all ability levels.
I have yet to see wheelchair curling in person. It would be very cool to see.
It's really interesting because you have somebody behind the wheelchair holding them steady in place so that when they push the rock, they don't go backwards.
Slide back, right.
And actually,
the laws of inertia.
Right, exactly.
Especially on ice.
And last year at the U18 Nationals, the opening rock that was thrown by one of our Olympian wheelchair curlers.
Very cool. Very interesting. So this looks like this is probably just going to peel that guard in front. So that will get that guard. Well, the idea was to get the guard out of the way to open things up, to hit those rocks that are in the house.
Yeah, I don't think that was very successful.
No.
They basically just replaced.
Yep, that does happen sometimes. You nose it, which is what we call hitting the rock head on, and then the rock you threw just kind of stays right there where the guard was. But it did move things around behind it a little bit, so that rock out to the right on the stream is exposed. Of course, that's not the one that's scoring right now in the middle, so we'll have to see what they do about that.
So Don with his second rock here.
Yep, this looks like another draw.
His first draw was very nice, and this one's coming in quite well too.
I really like the curl they're getting on this. The previous game was really interesting. I think the rocks ran really straight, and in this, so what we've seen so far in the first end, the rocks really have a nice amount of curl on them.
Yep, and Don is very consistent. I think his second rock has ended up just where his first rock was.
Yeah, that is great.
Which is also both exactly where the skip wanted it, pretty much. So, yeah, good throws.
So this is Adrienne Adams throwing for Sablow as vice.
So if I understand the complicated point system here, which I don't, but from what I understand, I believe that on this draw, all four teams you need to win in order to continue.
Right.
And
but
even if you win, you don't necessarily continue. So you need to win, and points and ends really count here. So everybody's really trying to get points and ends.
Okay, so is it the points that matter, or is it simply how many ends you win?
And ends matter more.
Ends matter more,
the points are like a tiebreaker, more or less, roughly speaking.
Interesting.
I like, that was, I wish there had been just a little bit more weight on that rock to maybe push that red stone out to the edge of the 12-foot or even remove it completely. But the yellow ended up in a really nice position.
It does. That did cut them down, so red is only scoring 2 right now. Much better than 4. That number is smaller. I'm not sure if plan A on that shot was actually to get through that hole to the button, the rock sitting there, but that was not a bad result either way.
No.
So, but it does give room for improvement, an opportunity to get another one in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're still sitting 2. Great opportunity for a draw here.
If they can get it past the yellow guard, sweeping hard to clear the yellow. I think they got it. Maybe. It's going to be close.
Yeah, maybe looks just a little light.
Yeah, it's got a little less weight than the other rocks, but getting behind the yellow guard can help. One less run-back opportunity anyway.
Sure, yeah.
And it's lined up perfectly.
Yeah, it helps guard the shot rocks then. So.
And looking at sheet C just for a moment, it looks like Cleveland Rocks is currently sitting 1. Red does have a biter, but that's not outscoring the yellow rock.
What was that about? They moved that red rock.
I don't understand what just happened.
I have no idea. Maybe somebody might have tapped the Broom. They probably burned it past the hog line, and they asked the skip what to do, and the skip chose to put it out there.
Is that a case where the opposing skip gets to choose where to put it?
Yeah. So you're supposed to put it where you think it would have gone, but
but I don't think it would have gone there.
No, I don't think it was anywhere
Who are we to
close
judge
to
the other skip? That's what he chose to put it there. So
interesting. Yeah, I was looking at C just for a moment and completely missed that. All right, so a yellow hit here. That did still curl a good amount.
So
But
now
that cuts red down to one, which is a
one,
great
but
shot.
Yeah.
Yellow's exposed, but there's all kinds of backing that it could jam on if you try to hit it. So
Yep.
it's,
I wonder if they'll try and pop it out right between the red rock and the on the button and those two on the right, or
Yeah.
if they'll try and angle it out to the left.
or they just guard, and if they
Or they just guard.
who has hammer here? No, red has
Red
hammer.
has
Yeah,
hammer,
I wouldn't
so.
guard if I had hammer. I would try
No,
to get more
I
than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like that's a lot lot of ice, so they're calling. I mean,
Now,
that
Like
looks
a
like
back weight, back
Yeah.
line weight.
What I really would like would perfectly nose freeze on that yellow, or just a little past nose, because
Yep.
then you could punch it out later, and it would be a lot safer.
Yep, and with that much ice, that might be what they're calling is a freeze there. They're on it sweeping pretty much the whole way down. They're sweeping pretty hard.
Josh Scoopera says hi, Ricky.
Oh, hi. Hi, Josh. Glad y'all are tuning in.
All right. Well, that's
That is a
Pretty
pretty
good.
fantastic shot.
Yeah.
That is lined up where you can just throw a hit on the nose of that red shot, and it's going to pop that yellow out right between the reds in the back of the house. That is a fantastic shot. It is, you do still have to get around that high yellow guard to get there, but it's definitely a makeable shot.
So yellow working on the other side now, trying to tap on their yellow maybe.
Yeah,
or-
that looks like maybe a tap up on that first yellow guard there near the house. It's not a ton of weight. That looks like maybe hackish,
Okay, get
but
to the
it's going to
first
do
yellow.
something useful.
Bumps the second yellow, maybe.
Just
but
barely,
I don't know
not
if it
quite.
touched it. Yeah, just.
All right, that was a good thought.
Yep.
I think there is still a worry about the way, with the way that red and the yellow there are lined up, there's still a worry of jamming on the back, I think, depending on where they hit that red.
Yep. Yeah, because there's a little gap between the two, so
Yep.
it could go.
And it's a little difficult to get to the inside of the red because of that yellow guard.
I think what they're worried about right now is that yellow tap again. Now that the two yellows are lined up really closely, you really just have to bump them in a couple inches for
Yep.
the out count.
Yep. So yeah,
but,
it looks like
yeah.
they're just calling a draw to prevent that. So this is Zach, the skip for Broom for Improvements, first rock, I believe. Yes. Right, that looks like a good guard weight there. They're sweeping it. That may just be more for line.
Yep. All right. Nice. Definitely well guarding that tap.
Yep, very useful shot. Over on C, it looks like yellow has put a couple more into the 8-foot. So they've got one in the red, which is the 4-foot, and a couple touching the 8-foot, which is the white circle.
Okay. So now yellow is. I believe they're trying to do a tap, basically. Hit the yellow into the yellow pair.
Yep. Yeah, it's a difficult shot.
Yep.
It's certainly possible for them to do something useful there. I don't know. Yeah, looks like he's thinking about something on this side. I would almost just guard.
Yeah, and just
That-
give up the one.
Exactly, because you're only giving up one when the opponent has the hammer. That's perfectly fine. And if you just guard this and they can't pop that yellow out, you're preventing them from potentially taking, 2 to 4.
Yep.
So I do like this call.
Yeah, I think I would too, especially first end. Yeah, not like you need to worry about cading the steel right now.
Right. And yeah, first end, you're still kind of feeling out the ice, figuring out how much it's curling.
Yep, looks like it'll definitely guard that
Yep.
line there.
Yep, that does work. Probably curled a little bit more towards center than they wanted, but
Well, it doesn't
obviously
matter.
still works.
There's no way to get enough weight
Exactly.
onto that red one to
Yep.
move the yellow completely out.
Indeed. And it looks like Broom for Improvement is going to the tap up on their own red with that yellow.
Red, yep. So same plan, just a slightly different angle.
Exactly.
And a little less weight because you only have to move 2 rocks instead of 3, but it still takes a good amount of weight to move 2 rocks.
Yep. We're also on the hammer shot over on sheet C.
I don't know if I like this shot though.
No.
There's too much room for error. If you're off, you hit yellow and you tap yellow in.
That is true. You could potentially do their own work for them.
It's unlikely because the weight's so different. The weight to move 1 rock or 1 tap versus tap is
right.
It would be a lot more weight. So.
And I think those 2 yellows aren't lined up such that it would actually get to the button and outcount their 1. So there's not too much downside to this.
No, but overcurls and it'll do nothing.
Yep. No harm done.
The weight was nice, though.
Yeah.
That could have worked.
And over on C, it looks like Loudoun Blossoms is just trying to draw to cut down yellow, who are sitting 2 or 3 right now. Looks like it's light, so that hammer shot won't help them much.
And yellow.
So that's a steal of either 2 or 3 for the Cleveland
3.
Rocks.
Yeah, they're kicking away. It must be 3.
Yeah. So good end by Cleveland Rocks on C to start out the game. All right, so on sheet B, since Broom for Improvement, the Red Rocks scored in the last end. That means yellow, Sablow, has the hammer this end. So our order has switched from the previous end, for those of you who may not be as familiar with curling. And it looks like Broom for Improvement put up a nice center guard tight in close to the house. Often the standard strategy, if you do not have the hammer, is to put up a center guard and then try and draw behind it to try and steal a point from your opponent. Oftentimes the team that does have the hammer is kind of trying to keep the center open and play to the edges. We didn't see that in the last end. Sometimes it's better to just try and beat your opponent into the center and not be too worried about being fancy. So that looks like what Sablow is doing right now, is just drawing behind that red guard. Looks like a beautiful draw.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Gonna end up right on the button. No, a little too far, just a little past. So being past the T-line like that can be a little bit unfortunate, because what red is about to try and do right now, Broom for Improvement, is trying to just freeze, I believe, on that yellow rock. So that would be sitting there out counting the yellow, and is kind of hard to remove because that yellow rock is behind it. And so you kind of have to get multiple rocks hitting that to really clear out everything. Over on sheet C, it looks like Loudoun Blossom's first rock just went through the house, so that ended up out of play. Just a little bit too heavy of a shot. And Cleveland Rocks put up a guard that's not quite on the center from their first rock. Back on B, Broom for Improvement. That rock was just a little bit heavy, so it didn't actually freeze. It got a little bit of movement on that yellow rock. They're kind of both sitting behind the tee now. And I think yellow is just... Sablow's throwing the same shot they did the first time. They're just trying to draw into the middle there, behind that guard. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Is that the side they drew from before, or not?
I think it is. I think it's the same side they drew from the first rock.
Yeah.
So they should know that ice and how fast it's moving over there.
Yeah, looks like it coming in a little bit more, but he'll just bump into the other yellow.
Yep, exactly. It's nice to have backing there. What you may have just seen there, once the rock passes that tee line, the opponent, the other team, they can sweep that rock. So once it's past the tee line, one person from your opponent's team can try and sweep it to try and help it move further and potentially get it out of play if it's heavy enough, or just move it further past the tee line to be less likely to score.
Oh, I just noticed you got a high on the chat there.
Oh yes, Minnie did point that out earlier.
Oh, okay. Must have been before I got jumped on here.
Yep. I did advertise the stream a little bit.
Ah.
Good to have some non-curling folks turning in, maybe
Yep.
get converted.
Oh, nice. Just getting the guard, gets both yellows out.
Yeah, that is a fantastic
was
double takeout there.
Excellent shot.
Of course, Sablow could try and do the same thing right back to them. Those red rocks
Yep.
are lined up in such a way that you could get both of them out with a nice hit.
Which is what the call is.
Yes, indeed. So the interesting thing with the stick curling, is it is sometimes easier with the stick to throw a very heavy weight for a takeout. He's not throwing a rocket in this case, but I have seen people with the sticks just throw a very, very fast takeout. In this case, he was just a little bit wide. When you throw a fast rock like that, it doesn't curl as much, so it's a little wide. It can just float past like that.
I think some of those people might have gotten out on the ice before they heard about the double box, because they didn't, I don't know where the double box is.
Was it the double box or the button box?
Oh, there's one of each.
Oh, I
Two
see.
boxes.
I see. So is there a prize in the box, or is it just whoever has the box at the end?
Exactly. The boxes are empty.
I see. I see.
Topper carefully said, the boxes are empty, don't go ripping them open.
Gotcha. And so is that at the end of the bomb spiel or the end of the game?
At
Whoever
the end
has
of the game,
box?
I think
end
you
of
get.
the game.
Yeah.
Got it. So for those listening, there's a prize box where whoever makes a double takeout, like we just saw, gets a hold of the box, and then if somebody else makes a double takeout, they get the box. So whoever's left with it at the end of the game gets some prize. And there is a similar box, the button box, for a button draw, the button being the centralmost circle in the house where you're trying to throw to score. So that foot wide, very small circle in the middle there is the button.
Oh.
So we also saw, somebody needs to catch the rocks. We also saw a button draw already this game, and I don't know if they got the box from that either. So decent takeout from Sablow there. They removed one red rock and open up that double hit for later potentially, depending on what gets thrown here. They are trying to guard this, probably be in the house, but in line to protect those rocks. On some level, you might as well score while you're protecting those. There's enough separation. Over on C, looks like Loudoun Blossom's red is currently sitting 2 or 3. I can't quite tell if that's a biter there in the back of the house. I think it is. So yellow's going to need to do a little bit of work to either remove some of those rocks or start out-counting them. And a decent shot there on B by Brooms for improvement. It did over-curl a little bit, so it's not actually protecting those two in the back. So there is an opportunity here where Sablow could hit those rocks out and also have their shooter kind of flop into the middle and be behind cover. So that would be the ideal shot there, is hit the red rock out and then have the shooter roll in towards the center a little bit and be scoring and be protected.
This one, again, is looking a little bit wide.
It is. It's a little
Might
slower.
get one.
Yeah, it's not
Nope.
it's not going to get there.
Yeah.
That was a little bit down weight from the last one, but still just a little too wide to curl back in and get there. That's a shame. And red's just throwing the same thing again. So a little bit more ice, aiming a little bit wider, hopefully get that rock staying out there. Over on C, I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that hit ended up hitting the guard, but perfectly angled to still take out the rock that was exposed. So either a genius shot or a bit of a lucky shot. Either way, it was a good result.
So this red rock for Broom from improvement. If you notice, it's spinning a lot. When you give it unlike any other sport, where the more spin means more curve, it doesn't work that way in curling, actually. If you give it too much spin, it actually curls less. So that rock just kind of hung a little straight, a little wider than they wanted. But hey, it's another rock another red rock that's in the house. So at this point, yellows really needs that hit and roll that Ricky was talking about on the previous try.
Yeah, there's 4 red rocks in the house now, which is not a thing you love to see.
This one looks a lot better. I like the line.
It does. That line is much better. It still needs to curl a bit. He has them sweeping it, though. And it is moving.
Yep.
That's a very good rock.
Exactly what they needed.
Yep, that is fantastic. So very good shot there. Red still has that run back. They can run that front rock back and just take that out that yellow, but that is what yellow needed.
And even if you just peel that red rock out, then it leaves the yellow exposed, so that works too. Assuming they still have 2 rocks left, right? Is that right?
Yep, this is the first skip rock for red,
rock, yep.
And yellow has hammer. Not a ton of weight on that. Just didn't quite curl back enough. So yellow's going to protect their rock.
So in one sense, you'd like to get the yellow to be closer to the other yellow, so it's outcounting the red. But on the other hand, you want it to be a little bit high to avoid make the double hard. So it's a tough call to make. Where do you want this?
Because if you're close enough to be scoring with this rock, it's probably fairly easy to take both out with a hit.
Yeah, and you really don't want to give up the double. So at this point, the guard is much more important than than getting 2.
Yep. And having hammer, there's plenty of room over on the left side of the sheet for yellow to make a draw with their last rock, potentially for 2. So it's not absolutely crucial that they score with this rock. Looks heavy to be a guard. They might want to bring that actually just into the house to score. Might be there on its own. And they are finishing it.
Yep.
All right. So they actually drew right to the button there.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the plan. That at least wasn't what the Vice was indicating with his broom that we could see on the screen.
So it's very hard to get the double the way those rocks are.
It is. That was not a bad result for yellow, because that is not trivial to get them both out.
And I mean, there is like one precise millimeter sort of window to get both of them out. Other than that, you get one or the other. That's good enough at this point.
Exactly. It's not bad just to take one out, sit there. It's hard to outcount the shooter if it stays around. This looks like it might actually tick off the guard.
Yeah,
this is curling way too much.
And let it curl a little more and hope it runs the guard back, but it's not going to do that either.
Nope. So yellow's sitting 2 and just has a draw now for 3 actually.
For the last rock. Just
Yep. This is my most hated shot as a skip. a perfectly open draw. All you have to do is just make the shot. It's like, oh.
Not just open, but with backing. Because if you bump into the yellows with anything that's not crazy weight, it still works.
And it's like, oh, if you make this, of course you're expected to make it. If you miss it, it's just oh.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Matter of fact, if you're up weight and hit that center yellow, the other yellow would then be the one that would move, and it would move into the red. So, yeah,
plenty of backing here.
Yeah,
we'll see if she's locked in enough on N2 here to make the
it's
draw.
gotta outcount the other red is a big challenge here. So it has to be.
So almost has to touch red, not quite, but it's a good chunk of area to aim for. And they did throw down this line earlier in the end, so hopefully have a good sense of the weight over here. Of course, now that they've been throwing on the other half of the sheet for the last, 6 to 8 rocks, the ice could have changed a little bit over here. And they're sweeping it. It looks like it coming up just a little bit
Oh,
late.
it looked like it had plenty of weight, and then it just slowed down. So
Yep.
when it started curling, so
Yeah.
that
So like I
happens
said,
sometimes.
maybe earlier in the end that would have been the weight for it, and they thought it was good, and the ice has just changed a little bit over there in the meantime.
Yeah, it looked like it had plenty of weight coming out of the hand. So
Still 2 for yellow, though. It's a
Yep.
good end. You want to get your 2 when you have the hammer. So good end by them.
So over on sheet C, how many rocks are left there? So it's just, I think it's the first skipped rock for red here. Is that right? So
Yep. That does indeed look to be the case. And it looks like they're just throwing a hit. Probably trying to roll into the center, but didn't get much of a roll. Still got that yellow out. So at least cutting down the amount that yellow has in the house. And of course, red does have the hammer on C. Sheet B is starting the third end. Red is back to having the hammer this end since yellow scored. So yellow, I did not see what the call was. It looked a little bit late and a little bit narrow to be a center guard, so that did end up in the house, touching the 8-foot. And it looks like Brooms for Improvement is going to be trying to draw behind that. So playing out to the more of the edges of the sheet this end instead of everyone playing to the center. And that red rock is a little bit even more narrow than the yellow one was, so they're sweeping that for line. It looks like it's going to end up on top of the yellow if it gets there.
it's curling past it.
Or that, it's going to curl past. That's true. And it's going to end up just being a guard. So not quite what the skip called, but having a corner guard with the hammer is not the worst thing in the world. Sablow's calling a guard to protect that rock they already have in the house.
Over on sheet C, hit and roll. Set shooter stay. Yes, shooter stays, not counting, but
Yep, it looks like yellow is 1 on sheet C right now.
yeah, I think so too.
I think they're just
It's
barely out
very
counting that
close.
red.
So yeah, this will be red hammer. So they'd like to, if they nose that yellow, but would they be out counting the other yellow? I don't think. I think I'd want to try chipping out that.
Yeah, that's very close. Yeah, you do kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's close enough. You probably want to roll in a little bit after you hit it,
Yep.
which means you do have to hit it at a decent angle to pop it out past the reds. This is a scary shot because there is a danger you run that yellow back right into your red rock that's currently sitting shot rock.
And you can potentially give up 2 depending on
Yep.
how if your shooter is
Exactly.
out counting the other yellow or not.
Exactly.
Oh, and a little miss here on sheet B.
Yep. Just a little bit heavy and a little bit too much ice. Gives yellow another chance to put that guard up. And it looks like they're calling just into the top of the house. So they're not actually really throwing a guard. They're
Yeah,
just
it's hard to say what you. I
putting
mean,
some more
yellow
rocks
doesn't have a
scoring there.
hammer here, so what
Right.
is your strategy when you don't have a center guard?
Yep.
Well, you just pile some more rocks into the house.
Exactly.
And
lo-
doing a force is your
Yep.
option here.
Yeah. A line of rocks in the top of the house is not a bad thing to have
Yeah.
when there's nothing behind it. Really makes it hard for the opponent to score. All right, sheet C, the hammer stone is coming down. Looks like it's running right back into the red, which is what I was just saying was scary, but it looks like red is still going to take 1. So
Yep.
not a complete disaster, just not quite exactly what they were looking for.
But they scored, so there we go. 1 for Loudoun Blossoms.
Yeah, like I said, not a disaster, just not the ideal they were looking for. So a good enough shot.
Here on sheet C, I guess room for improvement is just trying to curl, draw in behind everything?
I think so. That's kind of what they
With
were
that
calling
other-
from the beginning, was a
With that
draw.
other yellow is backing if it's heavy, but
Yep.
it's not curling. Well, now it's curling.
Yeah, it was a lot of ice, and I didn't think it was going to curl this far back, but it absolutely is. That ended up being a very nice shot.
Yep, okay.
It's a little bit exposed, but it does have the potential to just run back into that yellow and jam. So Sablow here is, I think, just trying to pop it out to the left, past their own rock. If they would stick around afterwards, that would be nice, but it's not crucial. And that shot looked like it was very narrow of the Broom, so they're going to end up running into their own rocks. And really no harm done, but didn't get the red rock out like they were hoping. So Broom for improvement, just putting another rock in to outscore the yellows.
Well, they're brooming this one a lot narrower than the last one. Because I think they want to get a little bit past nose of that one, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice not to leave it perfectly lined up for the double. And also, if you can even sneak in and be just a little protected by those two yellow rocks, that's also great. Everybody's sweeping. Weight looks pretty nice. Still sweeping. It's a good rock.
Yep,
I
yep.
think it didn't quite curl as far as he wanted, but it's counting.
Leaves the double
Very good
possibility
weight.
there.
Yep. That is what Sablow's going for. Probably just a nose hit would pop them both out, I would assume. It's got a good bit of weight on it. Waiting for it to curl back. Got one sweeper on it. Looks like it's going to be a good shot.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice
beautiful.
takeout.
Excellent. I need that double box again.
Yeah. Yep, good weight, good line, well judged by the sweepers. Good shot all around.
Well, I think I'm going to go out for a little walk and enjoy this beautiful weather.
All right.
You can enjoy the game.
Great.
Bye.
Nice having you for a little bit of commentating. Looks like Broom for improvement here is still calling a draw behind that yellow rock. Sweepers are on it. It's going to be close to get around. And it's just barely not going to get around. So good effort by the sweepers. So Minnie, how many streams is this for you today?
This is number two,
Number 2.
and a
Got it.
bit.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, so Sablow took out that red rock, and
Oh yeah, it was totally exposed, and
yeah, and their shooter did stick around, which is very nice for them.
yeah, and
too.
it rolled undercover.
Yep.
I mean, you could be bold here and try for a triple. It is there, but you'd have to throw a ton of weight
Mm-hmm.
to move all of that stone.
Yep.
The double is certainly there and doable, but it
For
looks
sure.
like they're calling more of a control weight hit.
Yep. Just get something yellow out, have a red rock in play.
Yeah, I mean, they got to start hitting stuff.
Exactly. Otherwise, you're just hoping for a draw and your hammer for 1.
Right. Which is acceptable, but not
It is,
ideal.
exactly. And this is looking like it's going to hit that front yellow and pop that out. Actually, it just ran into something else. Still, changed things up, got 1 yellow out.
Yeah, they needed a bit more weight to move more
Yep.
granite around. And what they did is just sort of spread out yellow. There's a double there. But it's kind of, it's a little difficult to get to. So I don't know. This isn't looking so good for them.
It's not. That the way they moved, you could drop a rock on top of that yellow in the back.
Yeah.
And have backing there so that yellow can't pop you out.
I mean, that is the thing that they have going for them, is that Sablow doesn't seem to be guarding the button.
Yeah.
And making it hard for Broom for Improvement to get to the button if they need, when they need to at the end to draw in.
Indeed. And it looks like, I think Sablow was calling like top house in the center.
Yeah, top
here,
house center. So this looks really heavy though.
It does. Yeah,
it's going to go
carry.
through.
Yep.
If it doesn't accidentally wick against the stone that's back there. And it does.
Oh, and it did. So
Yep.
it does stay in.
It does stay in. So currently Sablow is sitting 5, which is really dangerous
Yep.
for Broom for Improvement.
Not ideal, but there's plenty of backing in the back of the house to throw a draw in.
Right, and
So
it looks
that's what
like they're
they're
going to
going
draw
for.
in to the back left quarter, which I kind of would not. I mean, I like the idea that they're going underneath like guarded cover, but I would like them to be in front of the tee line.
Yeah. I guess the issue with being in front of the tee line is they can pop you out with a takeout then. Whereas if you're just sitting on a yellow rock in the back, you're at least safer from getting taken out. You still might get out counted.
Well, and it could be too, they're doing damage control at this point, so they're just trying to cut the either be able to leave their options open to draw for 1 or cut Sablow down to 1.
And
yeah, that didn't curl as much as they wanted it to.
it didn't. It was very heavy. That was probably backline to hack weight, so it was a little up from what they wanted.
And they have cut them to 1. They've cut Sablow to 1.
Yes. So much better than they were sitting.
Right. And now
before that
Sablow is
rock.
like, we're going to guard up that draw path to the house.
So he's debating.
Okay, well, you have 2 choices. You can guard the draw path to the house, or you can guard your shot.
Yeah.
Because I mean, those are the two shots that your opponent has.
Yep.
Is that they're either going to hit your rock or they're going to draw in.
Right, and it looks like he decided to like you said, guard that draw path to the button and hopefully be sitting 2, so
Right.
out counting that one in the back.
And giving Broom for Improvement the decision to either draw for 1, but making it impossible for them to be able to sit 2.
Right. So good
But
call.
this looks really
Ooh, it's
light.
and it's
Really,
curling a lot,
really light.
too. Yep.
Oh, I don't like this at all for Sablow.
No, that's not what they were looking for.
No, that's not going to help them. All right, so if I am Broom for Improvement, I am absolutely 100% hitting that rock.
Yep. Yeah,
Every
if they just
day.
nose it and stick.
No, you got to hit it at an angle, though, because if you nose it and you
true,
fire
might
it
just
right
jam.
back,
Yep.
it's just going to jam on those 2 in the back.
Yep, you're right.
So you've got to hit it at a little angle to go towards the 4 o'clock,
Yep.
range of the if the,
Yep, and
if the thing is a clock,
Right.
you want to hit it to 4.
Yep, and if you do, have that other yellow rock there to keep you scoring if you roll that way.
Right.
So, yeah, let's see if he makes it. That is the call.
More ice. Nope, done.
Pretty good amount of weight there.
Yeah, ton of weight coming down. Definitely a control weight. I can't see the line. Okay, no, they're going to hit it at the wrong side. It's going to jam to the back. Oh, good. They hit it with enough weight, though, that it bounced around. So that's 2 red.
So good end for Broom's improvement. For improvement there. That was really looking stressful for them for a little bit.
Oh, I was real worried. I was real worried.
We did see a big comeback last game.
Oh, yeah. We did see a huge comeback. 7 points over 2 ends, basically. But, I mean, it just goes to show that, like, your beginning game and your end game are 2 different strategies, even within the same end.
Yes, indeed. The best laid plan only lasts until the first rock is thrown.
Right. Well, and for Broom for improvement, Wenjun and Zach are switching off back and forth skip. So last game she was skip, and then this game he is skip.
Interesting. And our 2 teams on sheet B are playing significantly faster than the teams on C. Looks like we're just getting to skips rocks over on sheet C.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple more some discussions that needed to happen on there as far as some strategy.
Yeah. Birds for improvement on B. Just put a rock in the house. Looks like it's going to touch the 4-foot just barely. Oh, nope, just barely not touching it.
Nope, not touching it, but so
Sablow's calling
interesting.
A draw there. That surprises me.
That surprises me too, but I can see them wanting to do like a quarter freeze right behind that. But I would be really tempted just to hit it out.
Yep. It also a lot of times depends on what you know your other
what your
players are
lead
comfortable with, right?
Yeah,
like their lead might not be great at takeouts or not feel super comfortable with the takeout.
Well, and takeout accuracy, like throwing the rock accurately at that kind of speed coming out of the hack can be really, really difficult. It takes a lot of muscle control.
And especially when you're playing lead and, you know, mostly you're throwing guards or draws.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of chances to throw a takeout. So you don't necessarily practice them a ton.
And
I'd rather as a skip call what I know my people feel comfortable throwing. And that's going to change day to day.
True.
You know, like I have essentially a vice who can throw like warp speed takeouts, but his accuracy varies day to day.
And a warp speed takeout is not super helpful if it doesn't go where you want it to.
Right.
Just causes chaos at that point. Looks like sweepers are on this hard just to get it over the hog. Oh,
yeah, it looks like it's going to be about a 2.
Yeah, that's fine. The angle from the camera, I thought it was looking a little lighter than that.
Well, I was wondering if they were really sweeping hard for line, if they were worried that it was going to curl too much, because they don't really particularly want a corner guard at this moment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, their opponent has hammer. It's nicer to have something on the center there. Looks like yellow is probably aiming just to draw behind. I missed what the call was, but...
Yeah. It was a draw behind.
Behind that guard they just threw.
They want to draw to T.
Sweepers are on it, trying to get past that guard.
Nope, and they're going to wick.
Yeah,
oh, just a little touch. Improves the position of the guard.
It does, which is not what they want.
But you know, I don't hate where that rock ended up necessarily. It's like really high on the 12.
Yeah.
Broom for improvement is probably going to ignore it.
For sure.
They may try and draw. Maybe they are going to take it.
They might just try and hit. Looks like they might just hit and roll behind their guard is the plan here.
Yep, they want to hit and flop. All right. I mean, I don't hate that call. They could have ignored it and done another draw behind.
Yeah, could have just drawn to the middle there behind their guard, but perfectly valid to just make there be less yellow rocks.
Well, especially since it seems like Sablow, you know, all of a sudden you realize, oh, they have 4 in the house.
Right.
How did that happen?
Yep. This looks like it's going to probably over curl for the hit they wanted. It's a little down weight.
Sweeping a lot. Oh, they just make it by that guard. Oh, but it's going to go through. Yep.
So.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Either needed a little more ice or a little more weight on that, but
I feel like for the weight that it was going, like the distance it was traveling, I feel like probably just more ice would have done it, and it would have ticked the red or yellow if not out far enough over to the edge of the 12 to be fine, and then they would have gotten a good roll on it.
So it looks like over on C, Loud Blossoms is trying to take out Yellow's rock there that's sitting shot.
Are they coming through the port?
Yep, they're coming between their 2 red rocks. Looks like maybe with
oh, that's going to be
decent
nice.
amount of weight.
That's going to be really nice.
Yep, so they even get the roll out to the side a little bit. It's still open,
Yeah.
but, you know, Yellow has hammer. They're just going to draw into the middle.
That's one of those moments where it's like a little unfortunate you can only have one sweeper in the house, because I would have liked to have swept the red over a little bit further to be behind cover, but I really wanted to make sure that Yellow goes out of the house.
I'm curious to see what Cleveland Rocks calls, because, you know, draw to touch red for a point, or that rock is a little bit exposed. If you're more confident in the hit, you can just hit it and stick around to score as well.
And this is their hammer.
Yep. It looks like they're going for the hit.
Well, I mean, if he's confident in his hit weight, then that's a
Yeah,
great
why not?
call. But, you know, so that's one of those things where it's like, well, what do you feel like you can do right now?
Exactly, right.
Do
Either
you know
one
your
perfectly
draw weight
valid.
yet? You know?
Yeah, I'm a player who almost always calls the hit in that case, because I'm generally more confident with my hits than my draw
Sure.
weight. And
Well, and that's a really important
totally
thing to know.
understandable.
That, I think, was not heavy enough. I think that died a little early for them. But that's a workable stone. She is looking at doubling it back. Or, you know, just a little tap back.
Yep.
Or peeling the guard. Yep, she's going to peel the guard, which I think is a great call. His hit weights last end were wide.
Oh, and on C,
Ooh.
takeout over curled a decent bit, and so ended up rolling out.
So that's 2 red.
Yeah, he ended up hitting the other side of the rock from where he wanted to hit.
Well,
so
and
rolled
that
out instead of
that's one of the dangers of throwing a hit. Is that, you know, you're not guaranteed to keep your shooter around.
Yep.
But it's all tied up, and it makes for very exciting curling.
It does indeed. As the spectators, we love to see it.
That's correct.
All right.
Yep, keep sweeping. Sweep it out. There you go.
They did remove that. They at least moved the center guard that was there here on sheet B.
Yep, red's still sitting 1. Yellow is at 2 and 3. Yeah, it looks like they might want to pop that back. Or, hit and roll, it looks like, from the 8-foot.
Yep.
I do like how this team talks through their options. Kind of like, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this.
Yep.
And allowing who's in the hack to kind of weigh in on well, I feel like this is the better shot for me.
Yep. And it's impressive that they do discuss it a little bit, and the game is still moving at a good pace.
Oh, yeah.
You know, occasionally you get somebody who gets caught up in discussing a shot, and 3 minutes go by, and, you know, suddenly you're an end behind where you should be. And that has certainly not happened here.
Oh, I like
So
that a
props
lot.
to them. Yeah, that's a great result
That was
there.
beautiful.
Fantastic.
Oh, if I'm Sablow, I'm worried.
Yep.
I would, let's see, what rock are we on? We're on first Vice's stone.
Yep,
For,
so
I
still
would
4.
Yeah, I would take out, let me get the telestrator. I would take out this stone right here
Okay.
and open up the path to the
Sure.
button.
It looks like he's going straight to that back 4.
Yeah,
red rock there.
he's gonna come right through there and hit that, which I also love.
Yep.
But I mean,
It would be especially
this
great if
was
he got
yellow,
a little.
if this rock was yellow, I would leave it there if I was
Sure.
Sablow.
Got it.
But yeah,
Yeah. This looks like it's curling a lot. I think he's going to be on that front group.
the handle is really light.
Yep. So that's actually still a very good result, even though
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't the shot he was calling. You
I
move
like-
those
I
red
mean-
rocks out. There's a potential jam if they try and hit the yellow.
Yeah, I mean, I like that for him, and I also like that Broom for improvement is immediately like, let's run it back.
Yeah. Get
you
this
know.
out of here.
Well, and if you hit it just off on either side, the yellow rock is going to shoot either left or right, and it's going to leave yours in the 4-foot.
Yep.
Oh, where'd my... Oh, there it is. Sorry, I lost my cursor for a minute.
All right, we've got one sweeper on this, just trying to keep it straight. And jams right back into their red, unfortunately.
Yep. I mean, that is what they called, but I don't
Yep.
really agree. I didn't really agree with that call.
Yeah. You're saying they called the
They
just the
called
straight back?
they called the straight back.
Interesting. Okay.
And I
That does surprise me. I definitely would have thought.
I
what
mean
you
it
were
does
saying.
I mean they are thinking several moves ahead. So what that does though is it opens it up for them to then do
Do
another
the same
tap
thing
back.
again, right?
And
have the
that's
red.
what Sablow is going to defend against right now. They're either going to hit that red out or they're going to throw up a guard. That looks
So-
like about back line weight.
Yeah.
Heavy draw.
I was gonna say I can't tell where he kind of slapped his broom on the ice. I don't know if they're actually going for like a corner freeze on that.
I can't tell either.
With that much ice, they might just be trying to freeze on that rock so that they can pop
Yeah.
it out
I
past
mean-
theirs later.
Yeah, they're not calling for a lot of weight at all on this. It's basically draw plus.
Looks like a pretty good weight for what they called. Curling a decent bit.
That's not what they wanted to have happen.
No.
But
it's
that's really
not
great for
ideal.
Broom and for improvement.
Yes. Yeah, that's not ideal because now impossible to outcount that red. You have to get it out. And
Yeah.
it's practically sitting on that yellow.
Yep.
So that's going to make it difficult.
And they're just going to draw in, which is a great call. Leave that yellow rock where it is.
Yep.
And yeah, and just
Even a guard here I wouldn't hate, honestly.
oh yeah, I wouldn't mind a centerline guard.
and I
Yeah,
think that's what
even
they're
and
calling,
she must have heard us talking. She ran out there and was like, I would like it to be right here.
Yep. You have a rock right on the button. They have the hammer. Just make their life difficult. Just don't let them ever hit it out.
Yep. And when they take out your guard, put it right back.
Or on C, we just had a nice roll onto the button from a
Oh,
takeout
nice.
by Red. Nicely in line with that guard. So good job by Loudoun Blossoms on that shot.
They're sweeping a lot.
They are, and I think they're sweeping because it needs to curl further. I think
Yeah,
just
they're
trying to
sweeping
get it
on the
to move
curl
further.
side. All right, that's a lot deeper than what they wanted it to be, but it's
Is.
also touching that rock.
Yes. That
You want,
that's
I'll go back to it.
almost- That's almost lined up enough.
Yeah.
So that yellow can just. I feel like if yellow just nailed that red rock they just threw, it sends their yellow back and just clips that red that's on the button and maybe gets it out.
It might. It depends. You'd have to throw it super accurate.
You
Nope.
would.
Here it comes. Oh,
And
see, so the
opens
red.
it up.
Yes, sweep. The red did exactly, that little guard did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yep.
Put it right back. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, in the 12-foot.
Yep. This is just a game of making their life difficult.
That's right.
At this point.
The vice making sure that the sweepers know the call, that they want it to be right there in the 12. I mean, I've watched this team now play 3 different games, and I
Okay.
really have enjoyed the communication that I've
Nice.
seen between all of the players.
Yeah, being on the same page is very important because generally your sweepers, they've been walking down with the rocks every time.
Yeah.
And hopefully, at this point in the weekend and at this point in the game, have a good sense of the weight. And for them to for them to know if they need, obviously the skip or the vice can be yelling at them to sweep or not, but if they know what the call is and they can judge themselves
Nice.
and get on it before,
That's
somebody
exactly,
else has to tell them, it's great.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly where they wanted that rock.
It is.
They can't come at it straight on at all. They have to come at it from a different angle.
Yeah. I don't even know what I would throw here, honestly.
I mean, I would so our other fellow curlers who are watching, what would you do with this shot? I mean, I might almost, gosh, I mean, this rock right here is covered, but I might, let me trash that. But I might come in and try and tap back that way, but you'd have to come this way.
Yeah.
You'd have to go straight back and hope it goes over, but I don't think that's.
Yeah. Is yellow sitting 2-3-4 right now?
Let me go to the house view.
After. Yeah.
Yellow
so
is sitting 2-3-4.
Which is just, it's
if
very
they
sad.
can get that red out,
exactly.
They're in for a big end. But I don't think they can get rid of it.
I don't know.
I mean,
the game is close to. It's not like
is this port?
It's not like they're either ahead a ton or behind a ton that they need to make.
I mean,
some
is this
drastic
port
plays.
there? This you could draw in here. Sorry, my cursor skills are bad. You could draw in here, but I don't think you
Does that
get
even
rid of.
help you though, right?
I don't
at
think
this
you
point?
get rid of that rock.
To be honest, being the lover of chaos that I am,
Yeah.
I would almost just try and blast that center guard and see if I can change things enough to make a difference. Of course,
That could be fun.
it could be fun. That's a Tuesday shot. That's maybe not a competitive shot.
I mean, what do you have to lose?
Right.
in
The
this
issue with that, of course,
situation?
is you nose it right. You hit the red into the nose of the other red, and all you do is pop your own yellow out, and then suddenly
Right,
they're
and
sitting
then
two
suddenly
instead
they're
of one,
sitting
and you
two.
didn't help anything. So
So is this a
not a great
situation
shot.
where you throw it away? Because any rock that you're going to throw is going to do more harm than good. Or do you try?
that's a good question. Honestly, I was sitting here talking like this was not hammer. I was thinking she had one more rock, but this
No,
is
this
hammer.
is hammer.
So
This is this is
yeah, I
it.
don't
This is
know.
all you got.
and it
Nope.
looks like it was pretty much what she called, but it was a good shot, but
And that's just
it was
going
very
to be
difficult to affect anything in any positive way. in
one
that shot.
one red for Broom for improvement. Really very nice. Some very nice strategy and some excellent shots from both teams.
Indeed, yeah. Well played end all around.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, they just ended up with no good ideas.
Exactly,
No
right.
no good ideas.
Yep. No good possibilities. I
Oh,
guess is the
possibilities.
thing.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have had a good idea
Yeah,
for
right.
that. I would have probably thrown it away because I would have been
Yeah.
afraid that I would have screwed it up.
Right, yeah, there's more, honestly, exactly. There's more of a chance at that point that you're going to hurt yourself and accidentally promote a red rock than improve your score.
Right. I would
And a
fine.
steal of one is not a huge deal.
No, steal one is not a huge deal. You get to keep hammer, and you just sort of and you're only down by 2, and
Yep.
it's going into the 5th end. You just sort of
Yep,
you regroup
reset,
and
try
move
and take
on.
your 2 or 3 the next end.
Yep.
So we've got a tie game over on C.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And currently, let me go to
It's like
the
yellow's
house
sitting
view.
2.
Yep.
Yep, yellow's sitting 2 currently.
Yellow is sitting 2 currently,
We're-
and
And it's about to be first skipped rocks, so first red rock.
ooh,
from
that's
the
gonna
red
be
skip.
fun.
So still 4 rocks to play between the 2 teams.
And you can get to, if you're red, you can get to one of those yellow rocks at the 4-foot.
Oh, for sure, yeah. There's even just the draw path to draw behind, honestly, and outcount them if you're confident in your draw weight.
Right.
But I just smelled something delicious wafting from the kitchen, so I'm going to
I
take this
know.
opportunity to just give a shout out to our
Oh, yeah.
amazing kitchen team who's been doing great work keeping everyone fed this weekend.
Jen Martinelli, Snack Mom, and Judy Rakusin they have been cooking nonstop
All weekend.
for days before this too. They
really?
prepared we had ramen today for lunch, and they spent days beforehand making the ramen broth
Oh my
for
gosh.
it. You know, sourcing all of the noodles and marinating the beef and pork belly and chicken that would go into that. They've really done a wonderful thing. And there's going to be tonight is sushi night.
Ooh.
So if you can see over there on the ice, those
Yep.
trays,
Yep.
that's all sushi.
Oh my gosh, I picked
So
the
we do-
correct day to
you
come
did.
volunteer.
So we do cater that in from a local Japanese restaurant here, sushi
Gotcha.
restaurant. That's like the one thing that we don't cook out
Sure,
of the
yeah.
kitchen.
Makes
so
sense. Sushi is a lot of effort to do.
sushi is a lot of effort. It really takes a lot of technique.
I have made rolls, I think, twice
Oh yeah.
myself in my life, and it's you know, it's fun to do, but it's a lot of effort to do for 1 to 3 people, much less, you know,
yeah, I'm
60
not-
to 70.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for 80 people.
No.
I don't care how much I love you. I'm not like it's like I will buy it, no problem.
Yep.
So yeah, so tonight is sushi dinner.
Fantastic.
And then they will steam, probably what you're smelling is some miso soup and edamame
Oh,
to go with the sushi rolls.
great theme.
Possibly a seaweed salad in there too. And they are probably prepping for lunch and breakfast tomorrow. I
Sure,
see
yep.
some Kewpie mayonnaise happening over there,
Mm-hmm.
going into some rice. So
Yep.
probably some rice cakes happening.
All right, so over on C, it looks like Red Loudoun Blossoms did try to just throw the draw in. I assume was the call and came up a little bit short.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a rock there now, high in the house on the right side.
I don't.
I guess viewers left.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
reading
I
the
don't
camera right
hate
now.
it. I like actually for Loudoun Blossoms to block that draw path for
Mhm.
Cleveland Rocks and prevent them from coming into the button on that other side.
Back on B, looks like we have a nice hit from Broom for Improvement.
Beautiful,
Just-
beautiful nose hit.
Yep, perfectly taking that yellow rock out.
All right.
Sablow's going to
Yep,
try and
hit and roll.
Yep. Great call. Looking to cross face there. So coming from the outside. Needs to curl past the center of that rock and hit the inside of the rock to get the roll they want. This weekend, yesterday,
Yes.
somebody here,
Mm-hmm.
a non-Potomac person, is stick curling, but on a slider, which I've
Oh, yeah, yeah,
never
yeah.
seen before.
There's 2 of them on that team that are stick curling with sliders.
Interesting. That seems like the most difficult combination of things. To me,
Yes.
somehow.
Yeah. They.
I don't even like sweeping on a slider.
If they're the people I'm thinking that they are, they used to be Potomac members a long, long time ago. They were part of the people that first founded the club and
very
built
cool.
it.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I've never seen anybody stick curl on a slider before, but maybe it mimics the same sensation.
Sure. Yep.
But I was like, more power to you.
Yeah, exactly. Better you than me.
It's.
I do
I'm
not
trying
want
to
to
remember
fall on
who.
my
I'm
face.
trying to remember who else I saw on that team. Maybe it was. We gotta watch the Loudoun people throw. Maybe it was one of the Loudoun people or 2 of the Loudoun people. But yeah, it was, or else they were playing against Loudoun.
I think that's probably the more likely scenario.
But yeah, I remember. I think they were on sheet B and we were doing commentary and I've never seen anybody stick curl on a
Yeah,
slider.
it was a little crazy.
I mean, I would take the advantage of having 2 grippers
Right, exactly.
to get more power in
Yep.
my throw.
Oh, that was a completely different call than I thought it was. I thought they were calling
They
a
are
draw with the opposite
No,
handle.
man,
and
that
they
is
called
a
takeout.
hit.
They are going to get one of the red rocks.
Yep.
Popping that out, but the yellow will roll out as well.
For anybody listening, Gary from Broom's Up is here in our parking lot selling shoes and mittens, gloves, broom heads, all of the good stuff. He's going to be here for just a little while longer.
Oh, Do you know how long he's going to be here?
I don't know how long he's going
Alright.
to be here, but do you want to go?
I need to go get new grippers myself, actually.
Okay,
and
well,
I
why don't
showed
you
up-
take a break and
I will
like
do
go
that.
grab
Alright.
some right now and see if he's still here because he might be packing up really shortly.
All right, I will go do that because I got here early enough to stop by before I started casting.
Yeah,
And of course, he had a sign up that said, "I'll be back exactly when you start casting."
yeah, I'll be back in
At
10
3:30,
minutes.
or
Yeah,
exactly.
3:30.
So
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, well, so much for that plan."
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know how much longer he's here, but he's here and he's giving us some really great prices. And if you're a junior curler, he gives discounts
Ah,
to junior curlers.
Lovely. Well, I will be back in 5 minutes. then.
Okay. Yes, get new grippers. Wash your old grippers. All right, beautiful little draw here by Broom for improvement. Yep, Sablow's not even going to sweep it back. So Broom for improvement sitting 3, but it's wide open. And if I'm Sablow, I'm taking out the shot that was just thrown. I mean, or I would like to freeze to it, but I think their takeout weights have been a little more consistent than their freeze weights. So I'm going to do what I feel like is going to be the best, most achievable shot for my player. Really nice speed. Good control up. But it's got to come over. It's got to start curling. There it goes. Yep, now sweep for line. Lovely, just an infant roll. Not even a baby or toddler roll that I was talking with Michael Ray earlier. Just an infant roll. And it looks like Broom for improvement is going to come in and try and do a nose hit or get a flop on that rock. Which sounds like a great idea. All right, here comes Wenjun. All right. Oh, it's way narrow, way narrow. It's curling so much. It's going to hit. It's going to tap it back, though. I do like the plan B. Oh. That was good for Sablow. Because now they have one rock. They're sitting 1, completely behind cover. But Broom for improvement can run that back. And it looks like Sablow wants to draw behind it, I think. Or they're going to do a take out of that one rock. Oh, they're going to take it out, but they're going to do opposite handle. All right. Very nice. Wide, a little wide. Ooh, it's gonna, ooh. So it ticked one guard out and then it's just gonna fly through the house. That's unfortunate. But yeah, just a little wide. And yep, they're looking at, Broom for improvement is looking at popping that straight back, which I think is a really excellent call. Or they're talking about drawing in and doing a corner freeze, which I don't hate. Yep, they're going to do the corner freeze. Yeah, okay. So they want to draw behind it. So they don't want to do corner freeze, they want to draw behind it. Little discussion with the front end about what they're going to do. Front end seems to be in it. All right, here comes the first skip stone from Broom for improvement. All right. That's a pretty good draw weight. Sweepers are just escorting it down the ice. Ooh, it looks like it might be, it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Oh, now they're on it. I don't know, though. I really wanted to slow down. I wanted to slow down. Don't go so fast. Don't go so fast. Slow down. Slow down.
And it will stay in.
All right. And
Very unclear if it's out counting that yellow, though.
yes, because our cameras aren't exactly over the pin, and they are a little fish-eyed. So.
I'm
And
back, by the way. Hi.
okay, well, all right. So Sablow is telling us that yellow is shot,
Got it.
and they would like to freeze on there. Did you get your grippers?
I did.
Good.
Got my grippers. And if anyone listening cares, Gary will be here until 7. I think
Oh,
he's gonna be
great.
up until
Okay,
7,
so you have about 2 hours to get here and shop at Broom's Up with Gary.
He was currently dealing with his generator not working and spewing
Oh.
oil everywhere, which
Oh
seems
no.
suboptimal.
That doesn't, yeah, that's not good at all. But Gary has been coming around to Bonspiels for, gosh, I feel like 15 or 20 years now. He started when his kids were playing juniors because everybody needed competition heads and shoes and whatnot, and he thought it would be cheaper if he could just get it wholesale, and then people would pay him for what he did, and then he just sort of made it into a business. Turned into a business,
Yeah.
and now he travels around to all kinds of Bonspiels.
Yep. Cielo did not get the freeze there, just a little bit late.
And like I
don't
said, he
think
gives
it's
discounts to juniors,
Yeah, right.
which
And
is
honestly,
really
it's
lovely.
his prices are a discount from what you can generally get online too, and don't pay shipping, which is
Well,
a
right,
great thing.
absolutely. Well, and what I love, so I actually bought a pair of shoes, and I love that I could actually try them on.
Yes. that
And
is
he had
very
different
nice.
insoles that I could experiment with, and
Got
they were
it.
different. He had Olsen's, Balance Plus, and Asham shoes. So I could try on all 3 and
Yep.
figure out what I really liked. And I have a pair of Balance Plus now, so I bought like another pair of Balance Plus because I enjoy.
Balance Plus. Yeah, I always mix up. Sorry, yes, Balance Plus. I always mix up New Balance and Balance Plus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
New Balance is not a curling brand.
Not yet.
Not yet. My issue was I was going to order grippers online, and the shipping was going to be like
More than-
$25 on 2 grippers
Yeah, more than
that
the
were
grippers.
20 something each. And
Yep.
I said, you know what? I'll just wait a couple months until Broom's Up is here.
Right. Well,
so
and,
I did that.
and
So I have
everybody
grippers now.
should be replacing their grippers once a year
Yes.
because your grippers break down.
Yep.
All right, Red now clearly sitting 1.
Yes, indeed.
And if they
Shot
can
there.
get rid of that yellow by Sablow, they would be sitting 3 or 4. But it's not their turn.
It is not their turn, and in fact, it is the hammer.
Oh, is it the
So,
hammer
yep,
already? Oh my
yep,
gosh.
This is hammer from Sablow.
They are
so
playing really
know.
fast.
It's crazy. They're a solid half end ahead of C at least. But yeah, so it looks like they're. What is their call here? I couldn't quite see I didn't quite see the discussion when they were talking about this. There's still just. I think it's probably still just the draw back down to the red there. Although, can we get that overhead shot?
Yeah.
Is
let me
red
get it.
shot now?
Red is shot.
Yeah, so red is shot. So maybe just a heavy draw here to try and tap red. I don't know if that would even get them to. They may just be shooting for 1 here, honestly, at this point.
They might be. I mean, I don't think there's any way for them to get 2 in this.
No.
They would have to throw a ton of weight.
Yeah, and this
And
is a decent amount of weight. They have
It's
a sweeper
control,
on it.
though. It's a control weight hit, and they're sweeping it. Sweeping for line.
Yeah. Looks pretty good. Looks good for at least 1. Oh, that's not control weight. That's slowing down a ton.
That did slow down a
Wow.
ton. So that must be backline
Yeah,
weight.
so that was a heavy. Yeah, it was that heavy draw, backline weight. Got the 1.
Yep, got their 1, and they're going to give hammer back to Broom for improvement, coming into the 6th. Let's see, 6th. And then if Broom for improvement scores 7th, Sablow gets it. Yeah. It's always tricky when it's like you sort of figure out, okay, I'm probably not going to have hammer in the 8th.
Yes, right.
Like, oh.
You're looking at the ends. You're like, oh, I just scored on an odd numbered end. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I scored 1
Start
point.
planning very far ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, If you start obsessing, overthinking it like I do, you end up in trouble.
Yes.
You sort of are like, oh, God.
There is sort of a certain sweet spot where you, on some level, you do kind of have to trust your instincts at some point.
Right. Right.
Like for me, you might notice on stream, like a lot of people have stopwatches. So to get a sense of how fast you need to throw the rocks to get them to where you want, a lot of people time either how long it takes to get from the tee line to the first hog line.
Right, right.
Or from hog to hog, just to get a sense of how fast the ice is, because the ice conditions can vary from game to game or day to day.
Right.
Depending on how the ice was prepared, depending on the temperature in the ice shed, depending on the humidity, all the things like that. So a lot of people, use stopwatches, so then, they can tell their skip, oh, it's like a 375 to tee right now or something like that.
Yep.
But when I'm sweeping, I tend to find that, second half of the game, last third of the game, I kind of stop timing, and I just have a sense at that point of
right.
Honestly, like
it's
the
all
sound
data.
of the rock makes, like you just have a better sense once you've played a bit of the game, and you maybe don't need the stopwatches every shot anymore.
Right. Yeah. If I'm sweeping, I'm timing backline to hog.
Oh, backline to hog. Oh yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. Like that was surprising.
No. Yeah.
Oh, it's because I said T. I erroneously said T earlier. Yeah, backline to hog is what I
Yeah.
meant.
So,
Yep.
well, I wasn't correcting you. I did not catch that you said T. But no, when I'm timing backline to hog pretty much every shot.
Yep.
And if I'm skipping, I'm timing each individual player as soon as they start moving out of the hack to where it crosses the hog, and getting an idea that way for what things are going to be. But then I'm also yelling at my people, like, where is it? Where is it? Where do you see it?
Yep. And just to give viewers who might not be familiar a little sense of that, so anywhere from like a 3.7 seconds to, I don't know, very fast ice, 4 seconds flat between that back line and the hog might be draw weight.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
the T line. So that doesn't sound like a lot, right? Like that is 0.3 seconds of difference
But it
over
makes a huge
25-foot,
It can make
distance.
a huge difference, though. And I also
makes a huge
loved,
difference.
if I skip, I definitely time hog to hog, because that does give me a much better idea of where that rock is going to be.
Yep.
Like, if that rock is coming and it's 12 seconds, I'm sweeping it through the house.
Sure. Yep. That is one thing I do not have a sense of numbers on, having not done it much, is the hog to hog times. So definitely an area of improvement for myself. All right, they're sweeping this hard.
But
I think for weight here on sheet B.
Yeah, definitely. It's really light. It's really, really light. He wants it to be a 2. He wants it to be about a 2 guard, so he's there. It's going to be a 3.5.
Yep. Right up close to the house there.
Yep. Really, really tight. I do like. Sometimes I do like guards to be, especially if I'm way behind. I like the guards to be like really high, so that I can hide behind them, and then later on, they have a really hard time removing my rocks from the house because they can't get a straight shot at it.
Yeah, it's very hard to run a rock back 15 feet from near the hog line.
Yep.
If it's right tight onto the house there, you can kind of work with it.
Although I've definitely, I play with my youngest son and my husband on Sundays.
Fun.
For Pizza League and another junior. And there are times I time my son's rocks because I am concerned they are going to break the sound barrier.
Is that Henrik?
Yeah.
I knew it. I play with him on
on men's league, right?
League, yep, on Mondays.
Yeah, he can throw really, really fast.
Yep.
He's got a lot of power.
I do need to join Pizza League one of these seasons.
Oh, you should. It's really
a
lot of fun.
Yeah, it's one of the only days I haven't played, and pizza plus curling does sound like a fantastic combination.
It's really fun. It's a good mix of people who are brand new to the sport and some very skilled veterans.
Interesting.
Coming together, and the newbies get a lot of excellent mentoring.
Sure. Yep.
And then the veterans get to participate in a league that they don't have to take quite so seriously. They can, if you're feeling a little burnt out on curling because you've been super competitive for a while, coming in and doing Pizza League where it's kind of
nice and casual.
Yeah, it literally literally the only thing that matters is who's buying you the beer at the end of the night.
Yes. All right, Sablow throwing a hit here on that red rock that was just thrown.
Man,
on the
really
last
taking
shot.
off. Really taking off.
Yeah, that moved a ton. Ooh, wow. That got by a hair.
That was exciting. And I love how lined up it is.
That is one of those shots where as a sweeper, you're like, I absolutely saved that shot. That
That is
extra,
correct.
That quarter inch that I kept it straighter was the difference.
I mean, that's something where, like, I didn't. Oh, somebody in the warm room doing broom shooters, which is a double broom with shot glasses taped to it. And then they
It is a
have
glorious
shots
contraption.
of something.
It is truly a fantastic contraption.
It is. I haven't seen somebody do broom shooter for a long
I haven't either.
long time.
I sent so the friends I had said to tune into the stream, I had sent them a picture of the broom for the broom shooters
Oh, yeah.
yesterday while I was here. They're like, what is that? Like,
It
well,
is.
if your whole team wants to do a shot off of a broom at the same time, you use this. And
you
it's
do,
ridiculous. And
It is ridiculous, but
hilarious.
you do have to yell broom shooter, sweep, sweep, sweep before you knock back your
Which is
shots.
the best part. Absolutely. Because then everybody looks at you and knows that you're being ridiculous and doing
Absolutely.
a broom shooter.
So it looks like he's wondering if he could get the double. He's asking, or they can come in and do an. Okay, he's gonna put a rock right there and block part of the draw path.
Interesting.
Or maybe an in-off on his own rock.
It looks like maybe just a draw is what he's thinking of.
I don't know,
Being
because he
behind
keeps.
cover.
It looks like he keeps gesturing over to his own
Yeah,
yellow
right.
rock
It's
and
hard
then
to tell.
over in.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, yellow's sitting one. Red does have the hammer.
Yeah, red does have the hammer.
I don't hate just the draw in behind cover.
They're playing board games, and the board games are getting
Apparently
violent.
Getting violent, yes.
All right, so it looks like he is going to call for a draw right there to the 12-foot.
Yeah,
Over on sheet C, looks like yellow is sitting 4.
oh, wow.
Let me give you a house view of that really quick.
Yeah, it looks like 4.
Well, looks like 4. And is
Red
this
red hammer shot is coming up, so they're trying to decide what to do.
This yellow is going to drift out. It just way over curled.
Oh, wow, yep.
Way
good.
over. It was so light.
All right, so red is calling.
He
looks
wants
like
it tap back
T-weight.
to T.
Yep, just tap his shot, his rock there back.
I love all of the hand signals that we learn as curlers.
Yes. Hold up your broom horizontal. That means T-line weight.
Yep, T-line weight. Then tapping your broom with the rock and then flinging your broom over your shoulder means peel it, get it out of there.
Move. Just throw it at this as hard as you can. I want it in the parking lot.
Yep.
Get rid of it for me.
I told Josh D once, I'm like, if this rock isn't 6 seconds hog to hog, I'm gonna be mad.
So this over curled for the rock they wanted to tap up.
Yep.
So they will tap that other one up, but at too much of an angle to outcount that yellow.
It's not gonna outcount the yellow, but they do have 2 biters
They
right there. If they get rid of that yellow and
Yep.
they score 2 on biters, I'm gonna laugh really hard. Because biters I'm always delighted when
Yep.
people score with biters.
So for those
So
not, I
I
know a
think-
biter is a rock that's just barely touching the house and just barely in the
That looked like
scoring
that
zone.
could have been 5 yellow.
Ooh. Yeah.
but-
oh man, I meant to watch. I completely.
But
missed
there
what
was
that hammer
a
shot
but
did.
there was a red in there, and it looked really close to me. So I'm gonna wait till.
Got it.
Oh, they did post 5 yellow.
Oh, wow.
already.
Yep. All right, so Sablow here
For
is just trying to
clean
draw in
rocks.
behind the red rocks through that port.
Yep.
It looks like it's a little heavy and it's not curling as much as they wanted, so they may end up just promoting that red, actually.
Yep. Team
is
Sablow
unfortunate.
also with some really good communication. I like how the skip was talking them through the line and sweep, don't sweep. So he would like to draw. It looks like he wants to draw behind those two rocks there on the left-hand side, which I love.
Yep.
And he only wants it about at the 8-foot or tee line.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes as the skip, you say, this is what I want, but if you miss, this is the miss that I would prefer.
Right.
So kind of saying,
you
hey, I
miss-
wanted it tee, but if you miss, 8 foot's good. Or maybe
Yeah.
I wanted it 8 foot, and if you're a little heavy and it goes to tee, that's fine. Because,
Yeah,
we're not
but if you
Olympic
miss,
curlers. We're not perfect at this.
This is what I want.
Exactly.
So I
and
want perfectly this, or I want perfectly that.
perfectly this
There's-
or bad in this direction.
There's no in between on this.
Exactly. But no, it is genuinely useful sometimes to know what the better miss is, right?
Right.
If you want to err a little heavy or
Yes,
err a
sweep.
little light,
Keep
it's
sweeping.
good to know.
Keep going. Go, go, go. Keep sweeping. Keep sweeping.
Yep, get it behind that cover.
Go, 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 go. Yep,
Right, so
almost
it's open.
there, but it is exposed, and
Yep.
yeah, Sablow's going to go right for it.
Yeah, and honestly, there's a double there if they wanted the double.
Looks like he's thinking about it.
Yeah, it looks like he's just calling on the one on the red, on the 4 foot.
Okay.
Talking about communication and hand signals and things, one of the other things that gets me is some clubs, so we hold out one of our hands to indicate which direction we want. Oh, there we
He
go.
did get it,
Yeah,
yay!
fantastic. He didn't
Well
quite
done.
get the first one all the way out, but
No, but he
great
is
shot.
sitting shot,
Yep.
and that's fantastic for
Yeah,
them.
good shot.
It is completely exposed,
Yes,
and
it is open.
Team Broom for Improvement immediately putting the broom down next to it for a control upweight shot. Oh, normal. She tapped her shoulder.
Yep.
Normal.
Um,
Yeah, we tap different parts of our bodies to indicate how fast we would like the rock to go.
Right.
Touching your stomach means control weight,
Yep.
which is about 3.15 seconds around, and the normal is about 3.5 or 3.05.
Yep,
05.
Yep, hack weight is hitting your heel.
Bumper, you tap your hip, or you bump your hip.
Yep. I was about to say the thing that gets me is some clubs hold out a different hand to
yeah.
indicate which direction they want the rock to curl, and that's always messes me up.
I
little
think
mind blow.
Schenectady famously
Yes. I was up there for
holds
the
up opposite.
Yep, I was up there for the Dykes-Bonspiel in 5 years ago,
Oh yeah.
5 or 6 years ago, and that's exactly the one I remember that I'm talking about.
Yep.
So here we hold up. So all right. If there's anybody who doesn't curl here, so it's called curling because you put spin on the rock, and that makes the rock curl as it goes down the ice, and the path the rock takes curves. So we hold up a hand to indicate which way we want to point the handle, so that when you turn the handle towards the center, the rock curls in the opposite direction that you were holding up the hand. Schenectady and probably a couple other places, they hold up the hand in the direction they want the rock to go, which is the opposite direction from
Right.
what we do. So it's just a total, it's mind-bending. I won't curse on the stream, but
It is mind bending.
it's
They
mind-bending.
also time from the tee line to the hog line.
Oh my gosh! So they're just very wrong. in New York.
They're so wrong.
Wow, I'm judging so hard right now.
I was just in Schenectady a couple weeks ago with Henrik out of Junior Bronzefield. And so nice, so kind, like wonderful
Did they
hosts.
replace their chiller?
No, it's still the original chiller
my
from
gosh.
like
Yeah.
1940
Right.
something.
Yeah. It's this huge piece of cast iron.
Oh yeah, it's solid. It broke once
100-year-old.
apparently, and they found the guy who installed it originally, and he was like 80 at the
What?
time, and it was like during a snowstorm,
Wow.
and they came and he came in and he fixed it, and they're like, it's been running fine ever since.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. For some reason, I thought I remembered when I was up there, whatever it was, 5 or 6 years ago, they were like fundraising, trying to replace something, and I thought
Well,
it was
I think they're getting a
100-year-old
second. I think
chiller.
they want to get a second chiller.
Just have a backup.
Have a backup.
I see. It is cool to see that old machinery, though. Like we took a step, between games, we hopped back into the machinery room, and like, oh wow, yeah,
Yep.
this is how you used to do it.
For sure. Yep. Yeah, I really like the Schenectady Curling Club. It's very
nice.
warm and friendly, and the ice is good. The food is good. We found this bakery up there, this like authentic Italian bakery.
Ooh.
Unbelievable.
Delish.
They had cannoli donuts.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Now you're making me hungry. All right, so this is hammer shot for red coming down. They're currently sitting 2.
Yeah,
And
and
they're
it looks
looking
like they're
for
gonna maybe
something
tick it
here.
in a little bit.
Yep.
And
Looks like they promoted that one for 3.
yep, I like that. I like that
Couldn't
for
tell
them.
if they were trying for the draw or the promote, but either way, they got another rock scoring.
Yeah.
So, good job. Maybe they were even going for the tick to get 2 in. It'd be incredibly greedy.
I think they were like,
But
I mean, that would be a fun thing.
Yeah, they achieved the main goal. They got
I
3
don't know
points.
I don't know how long this team has been curling, or the members have been curling, or this team has been curling together.
I have no idea.
They're out of Pittsburgh, which is also, you know, lovely place. Like, I've been to that curling club, and again, so nice, like fun.
Yep. Curlers tend to be fun, friendly people. I gotta say, it's not a
They
shock.
do. No, not a shock.
Where's Team Sablow from? Do you know?
I don't know where they're from.
It's not up on our
It's
thing over here.
let me. Oh wait, I can figure it out. Hang on, let me scroll down. Let's see.
Did you say Ardsley and Plainfield?
Ardsley and Plainfield
Yep,
is
that's what I
where Sablow is from, and then
Where is Ardsley, Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Is that near Boston?
yeah. Well, Ardsley's near New York,
York.
and then Sablow, yeah, Ardsley's Plainfield, and then Broom for Improvement.
Oh, right.
Is
Plainfield is New
Pittsburgh.
Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Sorry, guys.
I haven't
I'm
traveled
slacking
for
off.
curling in a little while. I need to do that next season.
What's wrong with you?
I know, right? I took a year off last year. I didn't travel this year. Getting back into it.
How many leagues did you end up curling in this year?
I'm just doing men's league on Monday and then Tuesday social league this year.
Oh, that's fun. That's a great way to
I
get back
didn't-
into it.
Exactly. I didn't jump right back into Capital League, our most competitive league. Figured I would warm back up to it for a season.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I know Henrik has very much enjoyed curling on Mondays with you.
I'm glad to hear it. It's a good team. It's fun. And well, I feel like the first half of the season, our skip and our lead never really showed up.
Never really showed
It was
up.
Henrik and I holding down the fort for
That's
half the
correct.
season.
He was happy to do
But
so.
it's gone well.
He's always happy to be the backbone of any team. He's always, you know what? He's always happy to sweep.
Yeah.
That's the thing with him. He's always happy to
Oh,
sweep.
love an enthusiastic sweeper.
Yeah, on his competitive team for juniors, he plays vice.
Gotcha.
So he doesn't sweep every rock.
Yeah. Let's see. We're almost. We're on. Are we on skip rocks on C? Or this
No,
might
this
be
is
the
the
last vice rock.
last vice rocks for. So yellow's about to throw their last vice rocks, and then
they're
red
sitting
has
2.
one more vice rock
Yeah.
to go, and then
Okay.
they'll be coming in. But
Got
I
it.
am a little worried about time for them.
Hmm.
Because they started at 3:15, and we're just about at 2 hours now.
No, they didn't start at 3:15. They started
no.
at like 3:35.
3:35. Yeah, so we're
But still, we're getting down to the
close
wire, yeah, a
to
little
where
bit.
like the bell is gonna ring.
Yep. When they ring the bell, is that finish the end, you're on, and you're done?
Yeah,
finish
finish
the
the
end
end.
and play one more?
Finish the end that you're on, and you're done.
Got it.
That's
Wasn't sure
where
what
we're
the
at
rule
for
was
that.
this.
Mhm.
Got it. All right, on sheet B, we've got a lot of stuff in the house right off the bat here.
Yeah, they didn't believe in any guards.
Nope. Guards
for
are
this
overrated.
particular and then you look at C, and they believe in a lot of guards. Oh, that was a beautiful draw. They just got around 2 red
Yeah, good shot there by Cleveland Rocks.
to do a beautiful corner freeze on their own yellow. And now they're sitting 3.
Red still sitting 1 on sheet B. Again, guards,
Like
totally
on the
overrated.
Yeah, guards.
You're not scoring if your rock's not in the house, so why even throw a guard?
I mean, it's really a waste.
Yeah. You're not going to get an 8 under by throwing guards, I'll say that. I don't think I've definitely never seen an 8 under. I think the most I've seen is 6 points in an end.
Well, we had a 7 under here on Thursday.
Oh, wow.
And I have seen an 8 under. I was here before the world ended in 2020.
Oh, great hit on sheet C by Red. to
Doing
move all those
broadcasting for
yellows.
Club National Playdowns was
Okay.
here, and we had one of the women's teams over on sheet D had an 8 under,
Wow.
and that was That was quite something. We paused
Yeah,
the
right.
timer so that we could get
Take pictures. Yep, I was
Yep.
gonna say, for those not in the know, an 8-ender is when all 8 of your rocks score. It's extremely difficult to do. You know, it really requires the other team messing up drastically. And it's the kind of thing, and when it happens, you take pictures, and
Yep. Yeah.
it happens very rarely.
It's one for the history books. Yeah, we sent them into USA Curling, and they put them in the magazine,
Oh, wow.
and that kind. It was.
Goodness.
Yeah, they were very proud. The other team, it was a situation where the people that had the 8-ender had hammer, and the other team tried to shake before the skip could throw the last, because they were
my
sitting
friend.
7.
Nope.
And the umpire came in
It was like,
and
no.
said we're gonna allow them to. You can't
my God.
shake.
Yep.
You could have shook before you threw your stone, but you threw your stone,
Yeah, right.
and now you
It's not-
have to allow the
Yeah,
other
right.
team to throw their stone.
Oh my gosh, funny. Going back to sheet C again, I just want to give props there to the Loudoun Blossoms for making a very good shot. That
Oh,
last
yeah.
shot, they, you know,
Oh, here comes
yellow was
Cleveland.
sitting 3, and they moved all of them out of counting. So red's currently sitting 2.
I mean, that's wonderful. And there was just a really nice takeout by Cleveland Rocks.
Yep.
Both the shooter and the rock sitting there peeled out, which still leaves Loudoun Blossoms sitting 2.
Right, and they're down 7, so they do need a good comeback
Right.
here.
Well, and this is the first skip stone for Loudoun Blossoms.
Yep,
They have
so they
hammer.
have 2 more.
So I like that they're having a good discussion about, well, we could draw in and sit on the 8. We could draw in, sit on the 12. We could take out the yellow on the right-hand side and roll under.
True. Honestly,
They have a lot of options.
yeah, if it was me, I would love to sit just touching the 8-foot and block up that draw path to
Yeah.
the middle, because you really you don't want yellow to just draw to the button behind cover and
for
just
sure.
make it impossible for you to take more than
Well, do
1 or
you
2.
do you tick the yellow and then get like a little baby
Yeah, you
flop
could do that.
over and sit right on the edge of the 12 and the 8?
I mean,
I
think
mean,
at this
that's a
point
complicated shot.
It
That's
is,
a precision
and I think
shot.
at this point I'm not too worried about that yellow rock. You've already got 2 that are out counting it, and really the other yellow that's in the back of the house is out counting that yellow. It's not even the one that's going to out count you if it's out counting. So I don't know.
That's true. I mean, there is a certain elegance and simplicity, isn't there?
Just drawing, yep.
Just draw.
This actually looks kind of hot from
Oh.
Loudoun Blossoms here. This draw they're throwing.
Yeah.
It's coming down though. Actually, it's
it
slowing
is.
down way more
Yep,
than I
yep.
thought it would.
They got to sweep. They
Yep.
got to sweep. Sweep. Oh my God! It just
yeah,
died.
Yeah, that I thought that was heavy, and then that died so hard.
It makes me wonder if it picked up something
It
on the
may
ice
have,
and
'cause
just because it ground
It
to
did.
a halt.
It did, because they weren't sweeping it earlier. They
No.
thought it was good too. That must have picked up.
Well, and they
something.
were walking at a nice pace, and
Yep.
it was keeping up with them, and all of a sudden it just.
just died.
died. But
That's
I don't hate the
unfortunate.
position of that because it still blocks
Yeah,
up
no,
that
it's really
draw
not
pass.
bad. It makes that draw for yellow very difficult. It looks like they're just going to go for the hit on this red rock on the left, unless.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that must be the hit. So just cut them down. You're up 7, right?
Right.
You're just stopping the comeback. You don't care if they get you don't care if they get 1 or 2, right? You're trying to prevent some silly, 5-point end or
Right.
2 4-point ends in a row or something. So really just hitting out whatever they have in there is fine. Looks like there's a little more discussion.
There's a
going
lot
on,
of
though.
discussion.
Yeah.
So I think this whole game, like, there's been a lot of discussion on strategy and what to do. And because if you look at sheet B, they're full end ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're way ahead.
They're like about to throw, what is this? Vice's stones? No, the second stone.
No, they're starting. This is Vice Stones.
This is Vice stones. So they're
Yeah.
already in Vice stones.
Yep.
And they're,
Yeah,
this is the
basically
last,
almost a full end ahead.
yeah, this is the last stone for Cleveland Rocks. They don't have hammer. And they're really taking a long time to discuss the merits of trying to hit that red out versus, drawing through the port or doing it in off.
And discussing your shots is good.
Yeah.
Right? This is kind of what I was saying earlier. You can get in that time where you discuss a shot, you kind of suddenly you've spent 3 minutes discussing a shot.
Right.
And the game has really slowed down. And
Exactly.
you do that 2 or 3 times, and here you are. You're
well, and
three-quarters
it can
of an
frustrate.
end
It can
behind the other
frustrate your
team.
team members too, where
Yeah.
it's like just please make a
yeah,
decision
right. Just make a decision, right?
and go with it.
Yeah. Especially when you're up this much, right? I don't mind I don't mind the discussion, but you're up
No,
7.
I don't. Yeah, I don't mind the discussion. Yeah, you're up by
This
you're up by
isn't
7,
this isn't we're tied and we need 1
and you're
point to
not in
score.
danger of falling to an 8-ender.
Exactly.
Like,
So
you're
just throw the shot. Looks pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna get around that guard.
I don't know. It might be too wide. Oh no! Look at that. Oh, what is going on with my headset?
So they did hit it, but they didn't get it out, and they didn't catch the rock that went into the other sheet.
Right. Well, red is still sitting 2.
Yep.
So that's
So yep, a chance for.
there's a chance for
That's
them.
that's
Well,
a
they're
start of a
looking at the
comeback.
promote. So there
The
is a
issue is time,
technique.
though.
The issue is time. So there is a technique where you can throw a spinner, and if you hit the rock just right, you put some of that like centrifugal force into the rock, and you send the rock that you've hit kind of spinning for
Yep.
the house.
Right.
And
yep.
your own shooter rock that goes
Good
spinning
old
for the house.
conservation of angular momentum. Get some physics going on here.
That is correct. And so you can send both of them into the house
Yep.
to count. But that is
I-
extreme. That is
it's
Olympic
advanced
level
strategies,
curling ability.
Generally don't see that here at the good old Potomac Curling Club. Back over on B, yellow just hit a red rock out, and looks like just barely stayed out counting that red that's near the edge of the house there. So good shot by Sablow there on B.
Yeah, very good shot. Very good shot.
Still,
I mean,
still everything in the house. Never
still
did throw a
everything
guard.
in the house. I mean, if I'm Broom for improvement, I do like taking that out. I do want to hit it at an angle that sends it to like a 10 o'clock.
Sure.
I mean, it can't be anything over into the wee early morning hours of the clock. It's got to be before
You don't want
midnight.
it to jam back on those other yellows.
Yes, don't. Yeah, it's like the gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight.
Fair.
It's got to be before the midnight.
Yep. I'll say on C, we were just giving Cleveland Rocks a little bit of crap for talking about their shot for a while, but Loudoun Blossoms is also taking a long time to discuss
both
this
of
shot.
them. No, both of them have been very have had a lot of discussion on all of their shots, and if that's their game flow. That's their game flow.
So hammer shot on C coming down here.
Nice.
Again, it looks like it's got good weight on it, but that last one dies so hard. I'd be very
Well, they're
worried.
sweeping it though.
They
No,
are.
keep cleaning it.
That looks
Oh,
pretty
oh,
darn
oh,
good.
oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh, 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 oh.
Is it gonna? Nope, that's good. That's a.
That's a
for red there.
3. That's lovely. Well
now
done.
see, that is the start of a comeback if they had enough time to play 2 more ends, but I think the time is going to be an issue.
Well, we're
going
gonna
to
see
get
Toppers.
1 more end.
Topper's out there. Topper is the coordinator for this Bonspiel for this entire weekend. It has been, I have coordinated Bonspiels. I coordinate one every year, and it is a load of work. And my Bonspiel isn't nearly the size or capacity of this Bonspiel. So it takes a lot of time and dedication to be here for all 4 days to make sure everything runs accordingly. And so huge shout outs to Topper. Congratulations. Yeah, like well done. Everyone seems happy, and the gameplay is lovely. Over on sheet B, we have a light discussion happening about maybe a double
Exciting.
for taking out Sablow and either having Broom for improvement sit for 1. Yeah, see, he's maybe wants the Broom a little on the other side.
Yep. And this is their last shot
This
here.
this is Hammer. Is
no,
it? No,
it's not Hammer.
it's
This
not
is-
Hammer.
This is
Sablow
Red's
has
last
Hammer.
shot, and then Sablow has Hammer.
All right,
Yep.
so they're going to try. So Sablow has a choice here, which is, I actually really love this choice for them. So
You
if
mean Broom for improvement?
no, Sablow.
Sablow, okay.
So if Broom for improvement takes out those 2 rocks
Yep.
and leaves an empty house,
Hmm.
Sablow could throw it through
Yep, and
and
just
come
blank the
back
end.
the 8th end, but I do think that the bell just dinged, which changes the strategy,
Yep.
because it means when they have to finish this end and they're done. So
Oh.
if I'm Sablow, I'm
Well, that
throwing
means-
a draw.
I mean, that just means they lose, and they're just trying to get as many points
But
as
the
they
points,
can for
yeah.
the final rankings.
But the points
Yeah.
matter, so they're gonna. Yep, they're just gonna. There's
Draw.
no discussion even. They're
Yep.
just gonna throw a
draw
draw.
for 2 points, game's over.
Right.
That is, I've never seen a Bonspiel where we track and wins and points and things for the rankings like this.
I
this
haven't
is very
either.
strange to me.
I haven't
I
either.
still don't know exactly how it works, honestly. I'm used to just you have a bracket, you win your games, you go into through the brackets.
This is, I think, when you get into Bonspiels that have like a lot of teams in,
Sure.
they do things like this where, because there's some games where people have won by 12 points,
Yep.
and some games where they have won by 1 or 2,
Yep.
and so they're going to reward the blowouts with a higher seeding than the ones that were close.
Got it. Well,
And
it looks like
that's
they
a
are playing
choice-
another end.
Yeah, and
So
that's
we're
a
not
choice
done.
that some people make, but I haven't seen it done for any of the major tournaments. But I think this is a technique they use for like cash spiels.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, I'm not.
And it's possible that Topper comes from because Topper I think curled at a different club before.
Oh,
he came
Topper
here,
has
right?
curled it. Yeah, he curled at a
So this
different
may
club
be something
before
Topper
here.
imported for this spiel.
It
to
could
try
be.
out here.
It could be, and he's curled in many bonspiels globally.
Gotcha.
So
I see.
this could be something that he came in, like, got an experience with. I know he was in Switzerland this
Oh,
year.
interesting.
So
Yeah,
I
all
think
over.
it's possible that he came in contact with this at Switzerland and decided that this is. Oh, okay. Maybe the bell. Now the bell is done. Maybe he just gave him a 5-minute warning
Yeah, it's
beforehand.
possible. So he imported this spreadsheet contagion from Europe, is what you're telling
He
me.
did. It is spreadsheet contagion.
I say that because in the warm room here, up on one of the televisions, there's been an Excel spreadsheet displayed for most of
Yep.
the time that the couple times
Displaying
I've been
the
here
standings.
this weekend, right? Displaying the standings, but nobody can decipher, what it all means because there's 3 or 4 columns of
That's right.
end point, yada yada. I mean, obviously it's sorted and the rankings are the rankings, so you can decipher that. But
Right.
the
Yeah,
first 1 or 2
usually-
people I asked were like, "Oh yeah, I don't know how it's like the total ranking is calculated based on these columns."
Right, and it's all in Topper's head. So you're an economist talking about contagion?
Was it?
Are you an economist?
No, I'm not. I'm a programmer and astronomer by background, as is half of our club.
Yes. Well, half of our club works for NASA, and the other
Yep.
half work in
Works in
physics.
DC.
Yeah,
Yep.
work in DC somewhere.
Indeed.
No,
Yeah.
because my husband's an economist, and he
Okay.
talks about contagion, but it has to do with banking panics and crises.
I see that kind of contagion.
That kind of contagion.
I see. Yeah, it's funny. I've been a nerd my whole life. I kind of got into curling through nerdy friends and thought it was just a very genuinely nerdy thing. And it turns out we just actually have a reputation of being the nerd club.
Yeah.
Like up in the Midwest, it's this very blue collar thing. The same people who bowl, play,
Yeah,
do curling.
absolutely.
You go drink your Michelobs and
Yeah, absolutely.
up there, I
Oops,
guess it's
got
probably
that.
Labatt Blue or something. And you
Miller-
curl.
Miller Genuine Draft.
It's not as nerdy as it is down here, but
Oh wait,
we are
gave the
apparently
wrong
the
score.
nerd club.
Sorry about that, Sablow. I gave the wrong team wrong
Oh,
points.
how dare you?
I know. I'm gonna get fired. All right, 7-5. That looks correct.
There we go. All right, so after all that chitter chatter, let's take some stock here. It looks like this
Oh,
is
that's
going
really
through the house.
fast.
Yep,
That's really fast.
very quick shot. Room for improvement is sitting 1. That rock at the top
That
of the house
makes me
is out,
wonder if
counted
that
to
was
yellow.
a bobble, if they slipped when they delivered that.
That's possible.
Because
I
it
didn't
was
see
off to the
delivery.
side. It was off to the side and super duper fast.
Yep. And then over on C.
A nice little in off there. There was a rock sitting almost on the red line.
Okay.
And I I don't think it was planned.
but it
But
worked out well for Cleveland Rock.
It worked out well for
Yep,
Cleveland
they got a
Rocks.
very
where-
nice roll behind cover there.
Yep, it was
Oh,
a
that
nice
is-
little in-off. It's
That is so
in
guarded.
a beautiful location.
Yep. You've got a high center guard just to the right of the center line. You've got a 3 guard off to the left, and then there's a rock just touching the 8-foot. You are not taking out that yellow in the back house, in the back 4-foot.
That is one of the fun things I like about curling is like there is this fun element of chance in it where you
Yes.
can't you know, you've got your delivery down, you have your sweepers, you know, this is where it should go, and you practice and you do your things, and then there's just like oddness that
And
happens.
honestly, that's to me that is almost why this level of curling, spectating this is to me almost more entertaining than watching like the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's almost a sport where as you get to the very, very high levels, it kind of becomes boring because everybody just makes all their shots.
Yep.
You can do exactly what you want, and every end you're going to score your 1 point. And obviously that's not the way it works out all the time.
Sure.
But that is kind of the reason that they keep trying to change the rules.
Yeah.
To promote
Well, that's
more
why we have the
interesting
no-tick
games.
rule,
Exactly, the
yeah.
no-tick rule, the 5 free guard rule is
Mhm.
even because of that. That was not always a thing.
If you want to hear the story behind that, there is a Netflix documentary called Losers. It is.
Really?
It's a documentary series, so it's like
Okay.
episodic. And I think the 4th or the 5th episode is about curling, and it's about why we have the 5 guard rule.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I will have to watch that. All right, so we've got Sablow sitting 2 now. They did take out that red rock. And got a little bit of a roll off to the side there. Oh, and I didn't see what the last
Sweepers on.
last shot from Brooms for Improvement was, because this is another Sablow shot.
Yeah, it was a miss.
Got it. So that's going to be in the house. Probably what?
It's
T?
yeah. Well,
Top
yeah,
4?
it's going to be T. And it's going to be half buried. Oh, so it's corner 4, and it's not buried at all.
Oh, yeah, not buried at all. Totally
So
open.
yeah, if I'm Broom for Improvement, I'm taking it out.
Yep, hit it. Maybe you cross face a little bit and roll behind that
Right.
yellow stone, and you're sitting shot.
Yeah,
You're
I mean
very
I'm ahead
happy.
by 2, and I've got the hammer, so
Right.
I'm clearing what I can get.
Yep, yeah. Just getting it out is plan A. Honestly, if you cross face, you could even double out that one in the back, but that's bonus if it happens.
That's
to happen,
a
right?
long double. That's a
Like you said, chance and things randomly happening. That's one of those. That's not a thing you're aiming for.
Oh yeah, I've definitely
This is a
come
little-
down the ice for my team and go, okay, we're gonna try some shenanigans.
Yep. I don't think this is the shot. Well,
No,
it's
it was
not the
not
shot I
the
thought
shot.
they were going for, but they got one out. That's fine.
Yeah, it was just a little wide.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not the
overcurled a
worst
little bit.
Plan B shot I've ever seen.
They still got a yellow rock out.
They did.
There is less yellow than there used to be.
It is now almost perfectly buried behind their red, but Broom for Improvement can run it back and pop it out the back. So if I'm Sablow, I'm going to like draw in.
And over on C, Loudoun is in a lot of trouble in this end. Yellow's throwing a rock.
Yeah.
They're just throwing another guard, and there's going to be 5 rocks between Loudoun Blossoms and where they need to score. 6 rocks, I guess, because there's a yellow guard on the right side guarding that draw path.
Oh, yeah?
So that is not a happy place to be. That's, they kind of have to start clearing some things out there. Although, that yellow shot did just overcurl compared to what they wanted it to be.
I don't
There's a tap up on a red there.
I don't know. I'm tempted. I'm not upset with where that ended up because as Loudoun, I need
Sure.
a score, and
Yeah,
so I
right.
need guards.
Yep.
But I am a little irritated. I can't get to that yellow in the back that drifted there by chance.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one that like ricocheted off.
Yep. And it looks like
Yep.
they-
And look, they're doing the physics.
Oh, yeah, and they're
doing
doing
the measure.
Yeah, they're not even doing a little tap up to just sit there.
Nope.
They're doing the run
They
back takeout to try and hit that yellow out. So the angle is there for sure. Ooh,
My
that's-
favorite-
Oh, that is so much ice.
No, that's so much
That's
ice.
so much ice.
Less-
I would be
less
throwing.
ice.
Yeah, I'd be throwing more weight
Oh,
and
they want to do half.
half that much ice. Oh, I'd be throwing controller normal at that.
Yep,
Give
yep.
it like 6 inches of ice and make my sweepers do some work.
That's correct. Hold that line.
Yep. Because I mean, when you're throwing, the thing is when you're throwing hack instead of more weight, there's so much more variance in how much it might end up curling.
Right. Oh, little tap over there
And
on B.
You also just have, you have less weight, you have less of a chance of actually hitting it with enough weight to get it out. I don't know. It seems like a more dangerous shot to me.
Yeah.
To do it this
Oh,
way.
for sure. For sure. For sure. The over on B, the rock hadn't even stopped moving, and Sablow's like, take it out. Giving him a
The
little
man-
bit more ice. That's
know
more
what
of
they
a
want.
control down weight hit or hack
On B.
plus on B. Yeah, on C.
So
ugh.
right here on C, I think that's just going to flash. That's not moving
It's
nearly
not
enough.
even. It's not curling hardly at all.
Nope.
Oof.
That's rough.
Well, huge opportunity for
Yep.
Loudoun.
Yep. And that actually, that may have actually not
for-
even made it to hack. That was a little bit light too, maybe.
Yeah.
So just needed less ice, a little more weight.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. All right.
Yeah. Back on B.
Back on B.
Took out a red rock. Yellow one's going to roll out. Unfortunate
Is it
for
on the line?
Sablow.
No, it's past the line. He should remove it.
Yeah. Get that tripping hazard out of there.
Well, one of our players, he darn near died twice.
Oh, no.
He was on C, and the rock was sitting like right at that space, like right here between the 12-foot and the back line.
Yep. Yep.
And he was holding Broom to take a shot out here, and he would hold, and then he backed up a little to adjust,
Oh, no, yep.
and he hit that rock, and
Tripped
his
over it.
feet just about went out from
Oof.
under him, and then he did it a second time.
Oh, my God.
Hit the next shot.
I've gotten myself in the habit of anytime I'm holding Broom, just look behind me before
Yeah.
I like even kneel down or do anything. All right, so that shot, I moved things
It
around.
sort of
didn't-
it just
yeah,
moved some
it
stuff
just
around.
moved a little more
but
than I wanted, I think.
I mean, that high yellow guard is
Oh,
bothering me.
that is so high, I didn't even realize it was there. It was
Yeah.
kind of behind a player from my perspective.
I
And didn't
can't
even
really.
see it.
I feel like I can't really get to the yellow in the
Sure,
4-foot necessarily with that guard. Like if I'm.
Well, I mean, they got to it. They just over-curled, actually. They curled too much
Yeah.
to get to it.
But
So
this
it's
is Sablow,
definitely
and so if
hittable.
I'm Sablow, I'm like throwing another rock into the 8-foot.
Yeah, right. This is the last end. They need 2 to tie, 3 to win.
Yeah.
So you need something else to be scoring.
And there are no. We're not doing skips rocks, and we're not doing extra ends. If there's a tie, you just live with the tie.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I
It
mean-
certainly keeps things, on schedule.
Yeah, keeps things
Whatnot.
moving.
But I think I would be sad if I was tied and I didn't get to at least throw skips rocks to try and break the
To try
tie.
and win, yeah. Well, there is a certain rush to skips rocks where, like, all right, I really like that.
Yeah, that's a good rock. A rush, as in like a psychological.
Yeah, like okay,
excitement.
I gotta find my draw weight. I gotta remember what this
Yep,
feels
sure.
like.
And if you've been throwing hits all game, you're like, ah, crap.
Oh yeah,
I have to remember what draw weight is.
it's like I'll just have Henrik do it.
Yeah.
Then I can blame him.
All right, so red just throwing another hit in a shocking turn of events.
Yep. Well, and
Double's probably
the
there.
double's there. I mean, they could do it.
Yep. Oh, double's very there, yeah. Maybe slightly off nose.
Yeah, just slightly off nose. There they go. I like the weight
Oh,
on
that!
that a lot.
Oh, that picked right out of his hand. That
Oh
rock's dead.
no! Oh
that
no!
that
no!
immediately
Oh,
picked. That is so sad to see.
I hate that. Oh, I mean, such a crucial shot, and the stone just picked right away. That's terrible.
Yeah. I would.
That's one where I want to pick up the rock and
Yep.
see what
They
is
are.
underneath
They
there.
picked it up. See if there's a hair under there. Oh, I could see it from here. There was something under
Oh
there.
no! Oh no! Oh no!
That's a shame. Yeah, I was.
And the other team now brushing the ice to make sure that if there's nothing
Oh, I don't
left
know what
behind.
that. Yeah, where'd that come from? I don't know what that is. Let's make sure it's not still there. Yeah, I was about to say, oh wow, that's over curling, and then it was
That's a
immediately
lot of-
clear that it just picked. And
That's one of the
dove.
reasons why women curlers, if you watch the super competitive, their hair is in braids.
Yes. Makes a lot
Or
of
back
sense.
in a ponytail or up in a hat or
Yep.
something like that, because they don't want their hair. So like
Right,
they don't
yep.
want to be the reason why like something picks.
Yep. It's part of the reason I keep my hat on most of the time.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I take it off, and I'm like, oh, but if I take it off, I might drop a hair or two on the ice.
Henrik used to have like really long hair, like down past his shoulders,
Funny.
and he would get so low to
I
the
did too,
ice that
actually.
his hair would drag.
Funny. Yeah, it's funny if you on stream, if you're watching people slide out, people do have very different styles of sliding out. Some people get very low, almost right down to the ice, parallel with the ice.
Yeah, he used to get really, really low, especially for his takeouts. He'd be like skimming.
Funny.
His chin would be mming the ice.
Yeah. And then there's people who stay very upright, and that always looks very strange to me. Like it's almost like
It's very
they're
yoga.
I was about to say I was gonna compare it to a yoga pose.
Oh, that's really light. Oh, sweep. Start sweeping immediately.
I believe that was.
Oh, and that's 2
game
for
on C.
Cleveland Rocks. Yep, that's game. They're shaking.
So win for
Congratulations
Cleveland Rocks
to
there,
Cleveland Rocks.
Well done
And
by
really
them.
congratulations to Loudoun Blossoms for having 3 amazing ends.
Yeah, that was absolutely a competitive game,
Oh, yeah.
despite the big fifth end.
Yeah, it's just one end got away from them. Cleveland was able to capitalize on a couple of Loudoun Blossoms mistakes. And I mean, that happens to me all the time where
Yep.
you just make a couple of mistakes and the other team happens to be perfect that end
Yep.
and they make all of their shots.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you're just a little. They're on point at the right time,
Yep.
and you're a little off at the right time to line up and have it be terrible. So
looks like they want to try that again, even though Sablow threw up a really, really nice guard. So now there's
there is
2
a line
guards
between
there.
them, yep.
See, I wanted that guard gone
like 3 rocks
3
ago.
rocks ago,
Yeah.
and now they wouldn't be in this
Yep.
predicament.
It is easy to get into that spot though, where you're like, I want to throw something else, and then suddenly it's too
I
late to
can't
peel the
afford.
guard. You can't waste. You can't spend a rock peeling that
No,
guard.
Definitely been in that situation where I'm
Yep.
like, I feel like I can't afford to waste a rock
Right.
peeling a guard, and then I'm like, why did I
why
peel a
didn't
guard?
why didn't I do that 3 rocks ago? So this is hammer for Broom for improvement. Right now, Sablow's sitting 2, which would tie
Yep.
the game.
Yep.
So Broom for improvement does just need to take out one of these rocks, and
Yeah.
there is absolutely a path between those guards.
Yeah.
It's just going to need a decent amount of weight, and it's going to need the right line. So he's got to hit the broom here.
And it can't pick.
It cannot pick. It can't pick.
Start sweeping immediately.
Yep.
Ooh, he
gotta
gave
get
it
on
a
that.
push.
Yeah, gotta get on that. That's
He
over
gave it a
curling.
push. No, no.
They might be able to keep it straight. They might be able to keep it past
They're
that
gonna have
guard.
to sweep like the guns. I mean,
Oh, they got it past. That is what they
Oh
needed.
my God, they did it!
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Good sweeping by those sweepers. Good shot.
Yep.
by the Broom for
Sablow
improvement.
scores
Skip,
1,
Zach.
but Broom for improvement comes out with the win in this end. 7-6.
Yep.
Really
very
exciting.
close game, very competitive, exciting end.
Yeah.
I was absolutely certain looking from here that was going to tick that guard, and they kept it past.
Yep, I felt like he tweaked it right out of his hand,
Yep.
but those sweepers did that is one where you bite your sweepers the extra
Oh,
more
yeah, for sure.
because
Yep.
they held that rock.
Yep.
All right, well,
it
we're
was a
gonna-
pleasure
Yeah.
casting with you.
Yeah, the
Go
pleasure
ahead and do
casting
your
with you
outro.
too.
Yeah, sorry to
Oh,
interrupt.
no, that's okay. So we're going to take off. The next stream, I think, is going to be at 6:30 or 7. I don't have my schedule with me. But it'll be programmed up onto the YouTube page. We will have 2 streams going. We'll have AD separate from BC. And I won't be here, but you have some really great commentators coming up.
Okay, fantastic.
Thanks, Ricky.
Thank you, Mindy.